Hey guys, what's up? David here with David Hamilton Coaching, and today we're talking about self-confidence tactics. And so, listen, I've been coaching self-confidence for a decade now, in a lot, around social confidence for sure, but in other areas as well, right? Helping people with confidence in their career and themselves in general, even in business too. And there's two ways to look at self-confidence, right? One is contextual, which means in the specific area of life. So a lot of you here have come for help with social confidence, right? Overcoming shyness, some social anxiety, being better with people, better social skills, more expressive, more charismatic. That's through, my site, Social Expression. If you want more of that, you can check out link underneath the video on socialexpression.net. and other videos on this channel too. But that's one specific area of life, right? Another area is how confident are you at singing or playing guitar or playing the drums or violin, right? In the area of music. How confident are you in a sport like football or gymnastics or whatever, right? And that's where competence, how good we are at something can really play into our level of confidence and self-confidence in that area. And there is something to having kind of a core self-confidence regardless of the domain of life, right? The area of life we're talking about. Because we can look at in sports, it's a really, really great example where really high level athletes, and tennis comes to mind a lot, and golf, right? Very individualized sports, especially where it's not team, where their mental performance and their kind of confidence and belief in themselves, if that wavers, even if they have world-class skills, Tiger Woods is case in point. There's an old tennis player named Boris Becker, case in point. He was great, but he just started mentally losing it, and that was the end of his career, right? He kind of lost this belief, even though he was number one at some time and had won some big championships, or maybe he was number two, number one, somewhere up there, right? Top three at least, when I was growing up as a kid. So there's that element when people lose their mental game, they kind of lose their core self-confidence. And so to me, and I'm going to get into some tactics, don't worry, I need to lay the foundations here for you guys, is that when you're like kind of core okay with yourself, you kind of really accept yourself, you allow yourself to be okay, even if you're not good at something, right? You don't let the fact that you lost or got beat, in the example of sports, or had a bad performance, really take you down. You can kind of fundamentally accept and love yourself. That's a skill set unto itself. It really is. Now, it doesn't ensure that you're going to be great at the thing, right? That takes practice and time and actually practicing the skills and having the competence in that area of life, that domain, that skill set. But there is something to it to where if you don't let it affect you, and Roger Federer comes to mind on this, like one of the best, if not the best tennis player ever, was so zen. It's like shit didn't affect him. Now, I'm not saying it didn't, but he had a total coolness, right? And a total way of, it appeared at least, being okay. And he was often touted for having a zen approach, which zen and mindfulness and stuff, self-acceptance and that kind of thing is really included in that. Is one way to say it, self-acceptance. So one key tactic here is to really work on self-acceptance, really work on loving yourself, right? Being okay with the fact that we're human and we have flaws, and my belief is we are spiritual beings having a human experience. I didn't used to believe that. I didn't used to experience that. My own spiritual path has taken me that way. I'm very glad it has, despite all the challenges and tough stuff I've gone through, like I'm sure you have, or maybe going through right now. And so, really working on self-belief, self-trust even, right, is great. Now, I also will say that surprisingly, I grew up in a very non-religious, pretty much atheistic household, but belief in a higher power. If we're talking God, spirit, the universe, all of creation, all that is, ever was, ever will be. Okay, get a little woo here, but it's true in my experience and my explorations. And non-religiously here, I'm not knocking religion per se, but this has nothing to do with religion. To me, this has to do with the spiritual basis of reality. Calling on, especially when we're weak in the moment, like, please God, or please Spirit, or please universal force, however you want to say it, source energy, whatever, can really work. It's really worked for me, even recently, right, with some challenges I've been going through. So, and that's all around, right, self-acceptance, self-love, self-image. And getting that straight makes all of life a lot easier in all of whatever domain you might be trying to be good at. Like I said, social confidence, music, sports, business, crypto, trading, right? Talk about needing mental performance and stability more than anything. It's in investing, let alone the volatility of crypto. I have a little bit, probably going to get even more into it. You can't not. DeFi, decentralized finance. It's the way things are going. It's the way things should go. And so, side tangent rant. So, two things here, right? Self-love, self-acceptance, right? That's kind of one category, right? Self-trust, self-belief, kind of working on these things that, about you. And then there's also, calling to something greater that we're made of, that we're part of, right? That is super key. And then the third thing is simply getting better at the domain and committing to practicing, whether we're talking about social skills, like a client I've been working with who within a session is flying because he also came into the coaching, said, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. And I gave him a very simple couple assignments. And in his first week, he crushed it like crazy. It was awesome. And it doesn't always happen that way, and that's okay. Now, at the same time, what I also know about the journey is that it's not always going to be like that. There are going to be some valleys, right? And then he's probably going to have a sense of, oh shit, well, where did all that momentum go? Where it didn't go anywhere. You just, you have that experience. It's just now we're working on something else. We've got some other things to work on, but this first week went great. That's always great to see as a coach. But I'm not even expecting that, right? Because everybody's journey is different, and it's a series of ups and downs as we kind of rise up to higher levels of confidence, competence, right? And but if it's music, right? If it's singing, like, you gotta put some time in. I will say that when I speak of music, pardon me, that I'm a musician, a singer-songwriter by hobby, and I'm a little bit out of practice right now. And I can tell you for sure that I'm out of practice, especially with my singing. I grew up playing guitar, so it's more natural to me. And my singing got a lot better certainly my breathing got better, but once I got more calm in my mind and more open and relaxed and calm in me, my singing got a whole lot better, and people started making a lot more comments on it. I think life experience played in that too somehow at some point. But I also put a lot of hours in practicing to get better and better. I'm not the greatest singer. I have a good sounding voice. People like the sound of my voice. My skills waver depending on how much I practice and how relaxed I am. So I've been told sometimes that I have a great voice. It doesn't mean great singer though. Although I'd rather have a great voice than be a great singer. That's me personally. But a lot of times I get, a good singer, good voice, very good, right? It's still an area of growth for me. And when I'm not practicing more at it, then, things level off or go down a bit or what. And I can get it back quickly if I start doing my exercise again and really paying attention and focusing. Pardon me. But that's the third, right, is really working on that domain, quite simply. Whatever that is going to give you more confidence as you get more competent, right? But if you don't work on kind of the fundamental self-confidence, core confidence, right? Along with that journey is going to be a lot more bumpy, especially if you are, even when you get to really good levels of being, high competence in a sport, in business, in whatever. And then something happens where you made a mistake. Something happened in a market where things crashed and it was out of your control. And then you're like, and you take that hard mentally. and you start assigning meaning about who you are and your worth, it's really it's a bad hole to go into. I've been in that hole many times. In fact, I'm coming out of that hole with some business stuff that happened to me, right? Not social, not that stuff, business stuff that occurred for me. So I hope this helps, right? Again, recap the three areas are self, working on the self, asking and accessing a higher source, a higher power. And the third is just simply working on competence in that area and domain. So I keep looking, look at the camera. I don't use this phone often. And then the last thing I just want to say, if you like what you see here and you're new, like and subscribe. Welcome back. Sorry to former subscribers. Should have set the video. This is more impromptu, not in front of my more fancy camera setup and lighting, but I just wanted to record this one quickly and get it out there to help you guys, right? And if you're interested in coaching, I still do social confidence coaching, especially working with professionals and entrepreneurs who really want to get to their next level and have a better life. Could be more personally, could be more professionally, business-wise too. A lot of times people are more successful professionally. They want more on the personal side, right? And then I have a self-paced kind of social anxiety course as well. That, and the link underneath that is at socialexpression.net. But I also do, mindset coaching in particular for entrepreneurs. One of my favorite things to do, because entrepreneurship is only getting more and more. And so, that's stuff I do. I also help coaches to build up their business more, like I've done. So, just a little bit there. If you want help with that, there will be links underneath with descriptions. And best of luck on your self-confidence journey. Peace.